gentlemen, we have come to our afternoon part of AKRI's presentation for today. And for our first presentation, I would like to invite Dr. Wong Yao Seong from Taylor's College. For information, Dr. Wong is the winner for Anugerah kategori pembelajaran imersif Teradun ataupun blended. Oleh itu saya dengan segala jemput Dr. Wong.
Hi, good morning everyone. Good afternoon everyone. Okay, I hope you have your lunch ready. Okay, this is the one that I submitted for my 2017. That year they called it APRS. They didn't call it AKRI. So it's Anugerah Pemikiran dan Reka Bentuk Semula Pendidikan Tinggi Malaysia 2017. I was in the categories of blended learning. Okay, so I'm going to share with you during the pitching moments the slide I used for the pitching. So we are, as a participant, we have to submit a proposal, as you all know. So after submit the proposal, I get a notice that I will be invited for the pitching. So this is the presentation slide that I use for pitching. So I think we have only 15 minutes for the pitching and 15 minutes for the Q&A sections. All right. I'll share with you what is the rationale that I'm doing this project and what are the approach that I use, what the framework that I use, and what is the impacts on student performance, and also some of the benefits of carrying out the research. Okay, this is the research I've been doing for the past few years, and I also designed a poster for it. I'm not sure whether this year they require a poster for it. Okay, so this is the poster I designed. So my title for the project is known as Designing an Interactive and Engaging Module Site Using Blended Learning, RASA, they call it RASA model. All right. The rationale of the projects, okay, based on the Malaysia Educational Blueprint 2015 to 2025. One of the STEM initiative was to raise the student interest through new learning approach and enhance curriculums. So we are trying to integrate the face-to-face and ICT instructions. So I'm in the category of a blended learning. Sometimes they call it the hybrid learning. So it's comprised of both face-to-face, physical classroom interaction with the student, and also online interaction without meeting up the students. And I show some of the reasons that I embarked on this project. So as you can see, some of the news articles, some of the journal articles here show that the interest of the student in science is actually declining every year. What's the reason for that? So what's the rationale of these studies? Okay, because my major is I teach a science subject and also math subject. So it's fall in the category of STEM subject. So chemistry and mathematics, for examples. Okay? The approach that I use, since I'm using the blended learning, so I need a LMS system, learning management system. In Taylor University, we are using the Moodle base. Okay, our LMS system is known as TIMES, so Taylor Integrated Moodle e-learning system. And this is one of the courses that I'm teaching also right now, General Chemistry 1. Okay, and I'm using the blended learning approach. And the technique that I invented is known as RASA model, so RASA model. This is the framework that I'm using. So how do I use this framework for the face-to-face and also the, the online learning, okay? So I show them some of the layout, some of the proof that I use for my times. So this is our Taylor's home times website, the LMS, okay? The course is Chem 105, so it's a chemistry course. So the blended learning approach, in my course that I'm teaching, I'm using 70% face-to-face, and 30% will be online. The online version, we are not using anything beside the times. So the times is actually for the student to learn online. Okay, so and the students are advised to bring their own device during the classroom. So several important elements in the times that I think must have, including some storytelling elements, some visual elements. You cannot just simply upload a PowerPoint slide into a Times, because the student, they don't have any motivation to click the notes and also study online. So we have to create some visual elements. Later I'll show you what sort of visual elements that you can developed, okay, using Moodle system. Some form of collaborations and interactive lesson, so some form of interactive. I put in some simulation, some real-life scenario, okay, some game-based. It could apply into a face-to-face and also in the Moodle online system, and some social interactions. Sometimes interact with the students socially also, using several platforms like social medias, okay? Here are some of the technology or the innovation that I use for my blended learning approach. So everything can be incorporated into times, into Moodle-based, okay? The game-based learning, I think many of you are familiar with the Kahoot. So students love the Kahoot very much, right? You can use it in the face-to-face, or even you can give it the link into the times. They can do it many times offline. Off the classroom. Okay. Storytelling, I'm using the articulate storyline where you can create a story lesson. Okay. And visual elements, some of them are here like YouTube. You can use some animizer, they call it. Okay. Interactive lesson are using the LAMS, Learning Management System, and also H5P technology, okay? Social interaction, I'm using a Facebook, so I even create a Facebook group for my class, okay? And also the Remind, Remind is a tool that where you can interact with your student, you can send important announcement and even deadline to your student directly to their handphone, all right, without knowing their handphone numbers. So you can set your working hours, like you can be reached from 9 to 10 maybe. So after 10, they won't bother you. Okay. Real life scenario, I'm adopting something from a website they call the PHET. There are a lot of simulation here. And there are some collaboration. I can use Padlets, I can use Today Meets, I can use some forum. Okay. This is the one that I'm doing. I did in 2017. Of course, there will be some updated version of this, because you know that the technologies keep evolving. Like the latest one, we have the H5P technology. That one is much easier to set up compared to like the SCORM and the LMS. And what else we have? The scenario or the simulation, we can use augmented reality. Emerging technology, they are quite popular right now. Right? There are several free tools that you can use for augmented reality. Okay? So I designed it using a RASA model. So what is RASA stand for? Basically, it's your module site. I split into 4 different parts. The first part, I call the resources. So resources, normally I ask the student to, read up the resources before they come to the class. Some form of a flipped classroom, right? So they can access all these resources online using times before our face-to-face classroom. They can access the lecture notes as usual. There are some online lessons and so on. So these are, you can find in the online system, in the times. Then after that, when they come to the classroom, I'll give them some activities. Some of the activities I'm using external to, not in the times. Like example, we can give them some Kahoot. We can give them some Program Everywhere activities. All right. So to check their understanding, whether they really read out the notes or not. And of course, after the classroom, they can go back and even do more activity online, so to reinforce the learning process, okay? And support, because students, they need support. So what kind of support system that I can give the students? So mainly is you can communicate using the times. Like forum, we have the asynchronous learning, and we also have the real-time learning. Like the student can also face-to-face meet up with me, using the Remind, and also like some student response system. The student response system is just like the clickers that we use in the classroom, and some social tools here like Remind and Facebook. This is how the student can communicate with the lecturer. Okay? Of course, we really have to check the student understanding by giving them some sort of assessment. So we have some summative, we have some formative assessments. So it could be anything from different range of assessment. Could be online quizzes, it can be assignment, it could be a project, and also, of course, the summative will be the final exam. Okay, so this is one of the framework, I call the RASA model, is to help the lecturer to design the, the module site into 4 aspects. Easy to navigate, okay? So how they use it in during the lesson. So pre-lecture means, let's say I said it for the flip lecture. So they will have some self-directed learning. So they will have to access the online resources in time before the face-to-face classroom. And during lecture, I will use presentation tools. Not just limit to PowerPoint. We can have something to enhance the PowerPoint, right? Like we can actually embed the Pool Everywhere, which is one of the student response system into the PowerPoints. So sometimes I don't use PowerPoint all the time. Sometimes I'll use a Prezi. Sometimes I'll use a Nearpods. So just changing. Let the student guess what you're doing today, okay? Because they'll feel bored as a student, right? Then post-lecture, they will go back. They will do their assessment. They will do the activities. And then I'll give them the support they needed, okay? So we have the pre, during, and the post-lecture, okay? In terms of the engagement of students, these are how the student engage in the learning process, because we have the formative and summative assessment. We have the project-based learning, because I'm teaching chemistry. Sometimes I give them a hands-on project, doing in the lab one, all right? So how do we incorporate this one into the lab? Like, for example, I want them to build solar cookers. I can show them the augmented reality tool to visualize how the solar cooker is actually built. All right, and there are some simulation that I mentioned just now, experiential learning, some game-based learning, and fun, engaging, highly interactive, and student response system, and some collaboration tools. These are how the student actually involved in the learning process. So I'm actually more on the facilitators. So you want to have some sort of student-centered learning, not teacher-centered learning. So, okay? And to look at the impact, this is the work that have been done, did in 2017. So after this, I have published some papers on this, using this model, even a book chapters using the RASA model. And these are some of the student performance. We are comparing different semesters, like before the semester before I invented or developed this model, and after that, the pre and the post. So we compare before and after. See any big difference or not? All right. And this one is the student survey. Of course, I carry out some questionnaire at the end of the semesters to look at the student response, the feedback. Okay. See what they like about the process, the learning. What kind of tools they like the most? Which one they dislike the most? All right? And whether they help them in their learning process. Okay? And these are some of the student comment, the student evaluations. Okay? It's very small here, you cannot see. All right? It's some qualitative comment by students. Okay? Even a student testimonial. Okay, this one is one of the paper that I published using, I go and go and find out whether it's increased their employability skill. So whether the tools that I have is actually can increase their employability skill or not. Okay, and these are some of the findings from the paper. And there are some newspaper articles that also published some of the innovative e-learning tools that I use in Taylor University. And these are the course evaluations. It shows excellent teaching engagement. All right. There are some. This is the book chapters, and there are some papers using the RASA model. And these are some of my biodata, some of the award and recognitions that I have. And I think that's all. Thank you so much.